So this blog site is really starting to come together and look good. And we have the functionality built in so we can start capturing emails and start develop a following. And this homepage, all the most recent blog posts are really pretty much done. One thing I want to add over here to the right is I want a popular posts list. And it's very common around blogs because you want to show off your most popular stuff. People look over there, they click on it, and more than likely they're gonna like what they're reading on that because it's your most popular post. Other people are liking it, so then you have a better chance of getting more people to sign up and increase your following. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a popular post list over here in this lesson, and right before we do that, I'm actually gonna change. I'm gonna change this border here because I don't want it to. It almost looks Christmassy. So I'm going to change this, and we're going to go over here to sidebar module inset. We're going to change the border to that our salmon color, I guess would be the best way to describe it. So sidebar module inset. Let's look for it. Border, and what is that color? It's E. I'm sure it'll come up. Yep, E74C3C. Beautiful. All right, nice. All right, I like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to come over here and we're going to delete all of this. Actually, we're going to delete this whole sidebar module. We're not going to delete all of this just yet because we're going to change this to most popular post. And then we're going to edit these down to 4 list items. And we're going to change these to names of what would be a possible blog post name. Well, not really, but you'll see. So the big takeaway from this lesson is how to style lists and the different ways you can make lists look. Because as we've experienced, we've seen, let me actually finish this last one and then I'll show you. And I want to get a nice, long title here so we can see what it does if it goes to the second line when we style it to make sure, for any outliers we have any long blog post titles, we want to make sure we, style it in mind with those to make sure they look good. But what I was saying earlier is, I just want to show you another way to style lists because obviously this up here is a list and it's styled, and you saw a second ago. Well, okay, let me show you this. Right here, Bootstrap comes with a class called list unstyled. I'm going to take that away so you can, see what a list looks like. In one of the very first lessons, you saw what a list looks like naturally. So this is an ordered list, so it's going to have, the numbers instead of the bullets, but you can see it's automatically indented and given numbers in front of it. So how do we take these numbers away? Well, first, to do that, let's go ahead and identify this div here. And I want to give it an ID of, let's go ahead and just say posts box. All right, now let's go over here and let's say post box and its ordered list. We're going to take away these numbers here. So there's this CSS property called list style. So if we come over here and let's inspect element, let's go to ordered list. So list style type decimal. Let's see if we can find list style in here. display list item. So we have this list style, and actually let me do this. That way you can see it this way. List style type property. List style for short. So you have different ones. You have upper Roman, you have lower alpha, you have circle. You can look into all these different ones. So we have decimal. The marker is a number. Okay, so, and as you can see right here, these are all numbers. So what we're going to do is we don't want it to show anything. So we're going to say list style, and we're going to say none. And then, actually, I'm going to put it over here so we can see. We'll say list style none. See, so it takes away those numbers. And then, as you can tell, there's some padding over here to the left. You can see it in the green. So we're going to say padding left 0. Very nice. So let's take that. And so now we learned how to take away the list styles, and you can experiment with different types and to go away with the indentation here. So let's go over here, indent that, beautiful. Reload it again to make sure. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and style these list items. And I'm just going to start with one here. And once we have one styled correctly, we'll implement it into all of them. But I want to make the font size a little bigger. So let's go ahead and do, let's see what, 16 pixels. Okay, I like that. And what else can we do? Let's give it a little padding actually. So let's just go ahead and do 12 pixels, and we'll see how that goes later. All right, so we have post box, list item, we have font size 16 pixels, and we have, what else did we do? Padding 12 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Reload it again. Okay. I like that. Something's going on in there that I don't like though. So let's see if we can find that. And I think, yeah, here we go. So this post box here, you see how it's skinnier than our subscribe box up here? So we want this post box to have a padding of 0 pixels. So let's go post box, padding 0. Now let's reload this page. All right, now we have a little bit more. No, we don't. All right, now we have a little bit more room. All right, there we go. So we were back on styling these list items. So let's go font size, padding, beautiful. They're starting to look good. So let's go ahead and style this H4 here. So this H4, I want it to have a font size of 16 as well. I want to give it a little, actually I want it to all be uppercase. So remember that text transform uppercase. And give it a little background color. Beautiful. And we don't want that color to be so dark. Nice. Make it, actually, let's work on this padding here. Give it a center it in the text there. And let's see what else. Let's try out some font weight. Nice. Okay, I like where that's going. And I want to get that open sans as we did before. I like that font for headers. So let's go ahead and do that. Beautiful. And give it a little spacing, so letter spacing. And this is all completely subjective. Yeah, I like that. Beautiful. Okay. Now, how are we looking? All right. And I don't want it to have any spacing more than any other of these list items from, the H4 to the first list item. So we're just going to go ahead and see there's a little margin at the bottom. So let's just say margin 0. Beautiful. So that looks great. Let's go ahead and copy all this. And let's go ahead and make that post box H4. Bring all that in, indent it. You start to see, well, not you start to see, you've seen it by now, how this process works. Everything looks good. I really like the way that looks. Now let's give this post box some border so we can contain it in here. So let's see if we can highlight this, and we can go here since we've already created some styling here. And let's give like a border 3 pixels. Let's go solid, and let's match what we did for the background of the H4. Nice. I like that. And since we have that H4 already having that background, let's go ahead and take off the border top. It's not a big deal. You can keep it if you want. It's just a minor difference. And then let's go ahead and give it a border radius of 3 pixels. Nice. Nothing crazy, but you can see the slight difference there, just enough. And let's give it some spacing here at the top. So let's give it a margin top of 30 pixels. Copy all that. And move it over to the post box. Indent it. Reload again. All right, so now I want to have a little border on each of these list items. Okay, so I want to put a little border in here to separate them. And also this is bothering me, put a little space there. But let's go over here to these list items. And let's give them a nice little border. So we have font size 16 pixels. We have padding 12 pixels. Let's go, we'll just do border bottom. Keep that theme of 3 pixels solid. And what is it? EF? Yeah, EF. Got a little excited there. All right, so looks good. A couple things I want to fix here. Well, first off, let's go and fix, see this gap right here? So that's got to do with the ordered list. And you can see that there's a margin bottom here of 10 pixels. So we want to say margin bottom 0. Nice. And now that shows us that there's a little bit of extra border here because we have a border bottom of the whole div, as you can see here. And then we have a border bottom on that each list item. So we want to take away that last list item. We want to take away its border. You remember how to do that? So first, let's go ahead and grab all this post box list item. And we have, what was it, margin bottom 0 right here on the ordered list. Reload this page, make sure it looks like we expect it to. Beautiful. And then we want the last, remember the last list item. So how do we do that? Remember that child pseudo element. Post box list. And remember how to do that? Last child. So not first child we did. And this one's last child. So the very last list item, we'll say border bottom 0. So there's no border at the bottom, and now it shouldn't be as thick. Awesome. And it looks good. A couple things we need to do is first I want to work on these list items a little bit more. So we have the padding, we have the border bottom. I want them to each have a minimum height. So most of them is not going to be most of them is going to be 1 or 2 lines on here. Okay, there might be a 3-line one. If we have a really long title, but most of them is going to be 1 or 2 lines. So I want to give it a consistent look. So what I'm going to say here, so I'm going to say minimum height, and I'm going to say, let's try, nice, 60 pixels, okay? And then I want to give it a little bit more spacing here. So I want to give it a larger line height than what it is. So it's currently 16 pixels, and let's go a little bit larger. There we go. So there's some good spacing there. So we have minimum height 60. We have line height 20 pixels. Everything else looks good. Let's copy that over. Beautiful. This list is really looking good. And just the last thing I want to do is just give it a consistent look, and that's, we want to take away this, the linking here. So let's just give it that same color we did on top. Beautiful. And then when you scroll over it, it'll give it that underline, but it kind of fades in there. So let's say post box A color. Nice. Awesome. So that looks good. You know, our site's looking great. Professional blog theme here, and we have the most popular post. Looks really good. And next, all we need to do really on this page is mess around with this footer down here and give ourselves some credit for designing this.